Damage done. That is how the University Jam Bar announced in February that our short-term president, Randy Dunn, was leaving. Now, another phrase you may have heard is one and done, but I think that's an unfair name as he didn't even complete 1 year. So he's left us for Southern Illinois University, as all of you being Young Sun State students know. And our interim president is Ikram Kiawaja, and he will fill in until a new university president can be found. And obviously, what the university needs now is a full-time president, and there's none better suited, in my opinion, than Jim Tressel. And you may wonder why I suggest a football coach. He doesn't have a doctorate, he doesn't have a master's, he lacks much of the education, the same higher education that many university presidents have, but he does have one thing that he can offer that all these other candidates cannot, and that is stability. And one of the major things is financial stability. And as you know, as all university students seem to know now, we have a $6 million deficit within the university. And the Jam Bar,
Still recording.
the Jam Bar announced that one of the major things they are doing is, with the budget plan, is creating layoffs of faculty, full-time faculty. And this is expected to save only about 3%, 10% of the budget in terms of the $6 million. And you can see a budget plan. It includes that faculty layoffs as well as other things like cutting office supplies and doing everything else, because obviously the university is in desperate need of money. And one of the great things about Jim Tressel, in addition to that stability, is that he can bring in donations in a way most other candidates for this job cannot, and he can help bump up enrollment, because as the Jam Bar announced just last year, enrollment for the year is down 3.1%. And as you can see from this visual, it's been decreasing steadily since fall of 2010, and it is not expected to get better until 2015. And obviously, part of the deficit is a lack of tuition money. So in order to bump up those numbers of students enrolling, you need something or someone who can draw students to the university. And obviously, Jim Tressel is one of those people. Now, you've got 9 faculty members laid off. You've got enrollment down, as the Jam Bar has repeatedly reported. And now, in addition to all of that, and all of that budget crisis, you've got 128 university employees, in regards to an article published in the Jam Bar very recently, 2 days ago in fact, that have sacrificed 148 total vacation days. And that's expected to save only 3% of what we now need. So obviously, we're in very bad financial straits, and he is someone who is very well respected in this area and can bring in a lot of donation money and philanthropy. And he is unique in that respect because other professionals do not have the kind of clout he has here and the kind of respect. Like, he led the team he spent 14 years here, and compared to the 10 he spent at Ohio State, despite being better known for his time at Ohio State, and won 4 national championships. And he will be able to bring in donations and support for the team and for the Penguins in a way that no other candidate can. And then probably one of the most important thing is that he has a sense of personal loyalty to the university. He says repeatedly how much he loved being a Penguin, how much he loves the university. And I know all of you know about the Watson and Tressel Training Site. It's that big, beautiful athletic center that many of you, I know I do, walk past on a daily basis on your way to class. He and his family donated $1 million of their own money to that training site, in addition to $250,000 they had donated before. So obviously he has great personal loyalty to the university. He loves the university, and he would work very hard for it in a way that someone like Randy Dunn, who couldn't even last an entire year, does not. And that's why it's important to have someone who knows the university and loves the university come in and take the reins. And then its support for Jim Tressel has obviously increased. You've got places, newspapers like The Vindicator, talking about support that people have already been showing for him, and talking to the Board of Trustees and urging them to appoint Jim Tressel. One of the trustees for the University Foundation, he's a trustee for the Youngstown State Foundation that deals with student outreach, said in a letter to the trustees that was later published in The Vindicator that the sudden departure of Dr. Randy Dunn presents the opportunity to propel our university into a new dynamic and inspiring chapter. Jim would have the shortest learning curve of any individual appointed to the presidential post and would make an immediate positive impact on YSU's reputation and stature. We believe the appointment of Jim Tressel would create a direct correlation to increased enrollment in philanthropy. And it's not just this foundation that urges them, it's even United States Congressman Tim Ryan, who has written a letter, as reported by the Vindicator, to the Board of Trustees responsible for hiring the new president, urging them to appoint Jim Tressel, saying that he believes, as many others that he's spoken to, that Jim Tressel is the best choice and could help increase tuition, increase student enrollment, and increase donations to the university, which is very important in bouncing back from that deficit. So obviously, clearly, Jim Tressel is the only good choice for the next university president. He offers that greater financial stability that no one else can offer because he will bring in donations and money, he will increase enrollment, and he's got personal loyalty to YSU. And that's what we need right now, because we've had a university president come in, make all these drastic changes like the layoffs, like all these budget cuts, and then disappear. He announced in February that he was leaving, and by the end of March he was gone. And now we have an interim president and no stability. But even more so than that, if you agree and if you believe that Jim Tressel should be president, you have the power to do something. Like this foundation, like Tim Ryan, who urged the trustees, you can equally do the same. You can write letters to the trustees, and you have to remember that as students, you represent the largest group of individuals on campus. You far outnumber faculty and staff 3-1, if not more. You have the power to encourage that this appointment and to make this happen, because it is as much your university as it is the faculty's and the staff. And I think, and I hope you do too, that Jim Tressel is obviously the logical choice. And rather than have another year of damage done, one and done, we could have another 14 years that are even better than the first 14 Tressel spent here.